there's a scramble for almost a recalibration of people that are trying to get into fixed assets, hard assets. So there's a real big push on to grab assets like houses at the moment, buildings, which kind of runs almost counter to what you think would have happened with all of the coronavirus stuff, because we're still going through, coronavirus things and that sort of, all of the differences that are in the world. However, the experts told us that there was going to be a property market crash. And look, every expert's been basically wrong about everything that's been going on the last 2 years. So take everything with a grain of salt. But there's definitely a theme of people trying to race in and cement their position almost in on the monopoly board is how I would say it. So it's been a very interesting time to watch that, and there's a lot of urgency in the air.
Do you think a lot of it's been driven by logic, or has a lot of it just been driven by fear?
Well, what has been driven by logic in the last 2 years is probably nothing in reality. There's a lot of fear out there. I would say that there's some. I'm always hesitant to use the term smart money because I don't think there's such a thing, right? But you sort of see some of the, let's call it the haves. Some of the haves, they're actually jettisoning out of some of their real estate because the market is what they believe may have peaked. But there's a big tail of have-nots or have-less that are actually repositioning themselves on the property ladder. We're seeing a lot of push for people to get into housing and things. And I guess, look, in Australia, housing has always been such a ingrained in our psyche. But what's also happened in the last 18 months, 20 months, is that we've had these things called lockdowns. It's even a new word in some of the Webster dictionary. And people are now realizing that for the greater good or for whatever the reason is, that the government can pretty much put you under house arrest. So people have been really taking a good look at their houses, almost like their jail cell. I thought, well, if I'm going to be put under house arrest, maybe my jail cell needs a bit extra yard for the kids. Maybe I need an extra office. Maybe I want to be a little bit further out of the city where all the germs are apparently, or maybe I want an ocean view. And so that emotional push to buy real estate that is a bit more position and a bit more what you would have called like, hey, this is going to be my retirement style house, but I'm not there yet. Everyone's going, bugger it. Let's jump up, because you know what? If I never would have thought I could be locked in my house, but if I'm going to be locked in my house, it better be a damn nice house, and it better have that bit extra room so we don't have a mass murder of killing everyone because we're on top of each other and all that sort of stuff, mate. So it's been an incredible time, and that has pushed prices on particular real estate out of the cities just skyrocketing. Man, I'm not sure what's happening are you feeling that thing in either Canada or Thailand where you really understand the market?
Well, I'm not sure about Canada because I'm not there at the moment, but in Thailand, it's weird. It's kind of, you hit the nail on the head when you said that the haves are moving their money elsewhere. A lot of the haves in Thailand are buying up land and assets that are on kind of depressed prices because a lot of the tourism is shut down, so they can get stuff for cheap prices. And a lot of guys that I know that have a lot of money are buying up condos, for example, that are down maybe 15 to 20% in price, just because there are no large amounts of foreign money coming into the country, simply because you can't go and have a holiday if you can't travel.
Yeah, the Russian ruble isn't flooding into Thailand like it used to, I'm guessing.
Yeah, not at all. So you mentioned before that how the haves, the big money, is moving out of the real estate market. Like where do you see them actually moving their money?
Oh, it's not that they're moving it out of the real estate market. I think they've seen an opportunity to take some profits. There's still a lot of there's a big depression of office towers and inner city commercial in places like Melbourne and Sydney. Anecdotally, it seems to be happening there is the haves that are let's say the non-institutional haves are deciding that, it's become unpredictable to hold this asset. You never know whether office offices that are even coming back. Is everyone going to be working from home? We've got big call centers that all work from home now, but where it used to be, crammed into offices. And we're seeing institutional investors basically gobble them up. So you're seeing, I had to say, we're seeing a lot of, it's anecdotal, by the way, money that's behind companies that are buying up BlackRock. Some of those big guys that are basically own the world. They need to own a bit more. So we're seeing some of those in the Melbourne CBD. There's a bit of that stuff going on. Look, the haves always keep real estate. There's no two ways about it. It's a great place to store their wealth, but I think they're being a bit more selective. There's been a lot of trophy properties that I think have been let go for more strategic properties, perhaps.
Right.
More things that are going to be a bit more, influential to everyday life down the track. For example, I'm guessing there's a lot of smart money buying up highly depressed farmland in Thailand, and oh wow, now there's a railway line going right through there from Laos and all that sort of stuff. Who would have thought? And I'm lucky to have bought all that farmland. I wish the guys have smiled on me again. Same sort of stuff here. There's talk of a lot of infrastructure going on. There's still infrastructure assets that can be put up for in our country. We sell them. We don't keep them as a sovereign asset anymore. So that might have been good once upon a time. I think history's shown that you lose control of your key infrastructure assets like power grids, water. We've lost all those. We've done some silly things back then. So I see a lot of the have money flowing into what I would call heavy integrated infrastructure style things that society just need and can never do without.
So lifestyle investments like shopping, business, office space, that kind of like central CBD kind of stuff. And I don't mean marijuana CBD. I mean the central businesses.
I understand CBD oil is making a bit of a play here too.
Yeah.
Well, in my area, so we're about an hour and a half west of Brisbane, which is in Queensland, in a place called Toowoomba. On the outskirts of Toowoomba is one of the biggest legal marijuana farms.
Yeah.
That is going to be exporting CBD oil. So, great stuff. Always should have been something that was an industry we could get into. The world's changed very quickly on that, which is great. Once they work out how to tax an asset, tax a commodity, that everything becomes legal again. So obviously the powers that be can do that, and some of the farms and the businesses out here are gearing up for that. As far as the have money go, look, a lot of that sort of thing, infrastructure. So shopping centres, toll roads, ports. That's communications style things. There's a lot of different stuff going on. We tend to flick a lot of stuff to Canadian pension funds. Thanks very much, everyone. Those guys are pretty ruthless when it comes to buying things. They buy things at on $1. So it wouldn't surprise me if we sell the Port of Melbourne or something off to someone else. Eventually, it always happens, things like that. So I look at some of the smaller Asian countries, and I wish we would at least follow some of these things where they go, no, these assets can never be sold. They're sovereign assets, so to speak. We're too dumb to do that here.